I get very emotional when people say they just do just drawings or just 3Ds, right? In fact, it has gotten so bad that people even trivialize the so-called word architect. So you hear somebody say something like, it's not just drawings you do. Actually, what you see as drawings are a product of design thinking, and I bet you not everybody does design thinking. So what people see as just drawings, because that is the only way they can relate to what is going through the mind of the architect. This is a question that actually keeps me motivated. It's a question that actually inspires me a lot. So when I hear, what do you bring to the table? And then I honestly try to, at every point in time, to see beyond the streamlined duties that have been assigned to an architect. In fact, it has gotten so bad that people even trivialize the so-called word architect do. So you hear somebody say something like, it's not just drawings you do. Actually, what you see as drawings are a product of design thinking, and I bet you not everybody does design thinking. So what people see as just drawings, because that is the only way they can relate to what is going through the mind of the architect. So a drawing, just as a postscript now, the drawings are not just drawings. I get very emotional when people say they just do just drawings or just 3Ds, right? Because I believe that whatever drawing or whatever set of drawings that an architect produces, just know that it's a product of design thinking, and there's a lot of things that went in behind to produce that particular drawings. When people actually say what you bring to the table, or I use that to actually keep myself going or to stay motivated, right? So whatever your field, whichever area of expertise, you can actually use that to just check in on yourself. What do I really bring to the table? So me personally, I love to see beyond the streamlined rules that architects are being known for. So as much as I want to be good at those streamlined rules, design thinking, presentations and what have you, I ask myself, what do I really bring to the table? So I paint a situation whereby I'm not needed to produce drawings, I'm not needed to produce 3Ds, I'm not needed to produce designs or even do the so-called streamlined things that architects do right now. What can I really do? Does that mean that I will be redundant? But I believe that an architect is an embodiment of value, right? And then the world is in so much need of value. For me, I think that beyond just drawings, beyond just what we are known for, I keep myself abreast to always ensure that there's so much more I have to offer. Even the whole idea, the whole concept of professionalism, they don't just call the architect a professional for just calling sake. You become a professional by virtue of your disposition towards certain things, right? And one thing I know about professionalism is that professionalism makes you to be blatant or to be adamant to standards. No compromise. So in your day-to-day activities, do you compromise? This is a value that people don't think, it might not necessarily translate to money, but then if applied in, you realize that it actually translates to resource, right? So actually a value that I want to offer beyond, so I can stick to standard, I can stick to procedures, I can stick to due process without compromise. That is what a professional is known for. Because professional doesn't cut corners. A professional should know the side effect. I put it this way: blatant or unapologetic about standards. So if I'm not producing drawing, I can act as a professional in a situation. I can manage a situation because I am trained as a professional. You can bring ethics. So professionalism works hand in hand with ethics actually. Ethics in the sense that there's a right way to do things, right? There's a way to go about certain things as a professional. So ethics is something that you hardly find, especially in this part of the world. People just do things anyhow, and then they believe that they can get away with it. But as a professional, you come with a superior way of thinking. You come with a better approach to doing things, right? That saves time, that saves resources, and what have you. These are points that I picked from learning from mentors and what have you, right? So I think understanding, these things are things that don't really necessarily translate as the day-to-day things that you do, but then they are ingrained in the responsibility of the architect actually. You get, for you to be able to sit down and take a brief, to be able to see yourself in the place of the client, interpret his problems, the ones that he shared with you and the ones that he doesn't even know how to share with you, and then provide a solution. That takes great understanding context, understanding scenarios, right? So there's a lot of things that one can bring to the table. So let me just sum it up by saying that there are certain things that are bound to happen, right? And one thing that I know is, for example, now let's use the medical field. I believe that as long as we are humans and we are in this deteriorating body, there will always be need for medical attention. Okay, just as we have night and day, right? So I believe that that's how important architecture can be. If you can really honestly harness some of the values that we taught, the whole part of architecture for me, I see it as a privilege to be able to function in some way like God. To be very honest, that's how I see it. And then when I see myself in that light, it makes me understand that I have a greater role to play to humanity generally. So beyond just the conventional things that we know, right? As an architect, I believe that every new brief that comes my way is actually an opportunity for me to tap into a certain potential that has been deposited in me by God and even by my training. Okay, so there's a potential to meet a specific need at a particular time. I am learning to actually see beyond that streamlined path to actually be more of a problem solver. Because the architect in one word for me is a problem solver. The architect can actually do so well in other sectors if only they realize that. Because in the training of an architect, you have all it takes to actually thrive in whatever venture.